What is happening, guys? It's Johnny with Rules for Rebels, and the title of this video is "This is why a lot of people aren't going to be successful." Now, I've gotten a couple YouTube messages in the past few days, and I was actually just responding to messages, and I was responding to a couple of these, and two different videos. One video was my recent Amazon merch September earnings video, and I made $186, right? Nothing too crazy. And somebody commented, they said, "What's the point? What's the point of doing this for $186? And then another video was actually a video I made about suggesting people do product photography and basically have people send you their item, you take pictures of it in a light box and whatever else. And I got a pretty similar comment. Some lady was like, photography is a really competitive industry, and like nobody's going to be able to support themselves doing this idea. This is stupid. And then so basically that's like, everybody thinks this is beneath me, or at the very least, everybody wants to start making 10 grand a month, as opposed to doing the little things that it takes to get to the point when you can make 10 grand a month. So the other day we talked about in the side hustle, I think it was side hustle episode 52. If you haven't checked it out, feel free to check it out. The gentleman there, he was an IT worker. He was working for Starbucks. He made good money at his day job. And he started doing web design on the side, right? For very little money. He was doing web design on the side for very little money. But it was through doing that web design for very little money that he discovered, and he was doing web design for like breweries, wineries, and distilleries. And it was only through doing those jobs for those distilleries that he realized that these companies have a challenge. They have to have an age gate for compliance reasons, right? So if you've ever visited like a brewery's website or a beer website, it'll say, are you 21? And you have to check yes, and sometimes you have to put in your birthday. That's called an age gate. And it was hard to, for any breweries that were using, like Wix, Weebly, Shopify type websites, there wasn't necessarily something like that. It wasn't as easy to do. You'd have to have a custom built website to do something like that. So this gentleman realized, wow, that's an opportunity, right? So he wrote a line of code that would put an age gate block at the front so people had to verify they were 21. And he has over 3,000 businesses using that service, and now he's making over $100,000. But that would have never happened had he not done these cheap web design jobs up front. My very own business, when me and my partner started our business, my goal wasn't to make $100,000 a year. It wasn't to make $1 million. I was sick of, stretching money between paychecks. I was sick of having to hit the Coinstar machine so that I would have enough money to put into my gas tank to get to work on Friday, on Friday of payday. I was sick of going to the Coinstar machine to be able to scrape together a little bit of money for lunch the day before payday. And so I didn't really have any expectations of I'm gonna make six figures, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I just wanted to make a little bit more money than I was making right now. But everybody wants to start, I get emails all the time. Hey, I've never done anything in e-commerce, I've never started a business, but I want to make 10 grand a month, and I want to make it my first month. Like, get out of here. It's, not to say it's not gonna happen. Can it happen? Sure, it can happen. But you have to start small. You have to crawl before you walk. And it's really frustrating when everybody thinks everything is below them, or nobody's willing to start somewhere. Most businesses don't start making a ton of money. So when me and my business partner started our business back in 2012, we were making maybe $50 a week, and we were pretty excited about that $50 a week. Like, when I'm hitting up Coinstar machines to have gas money to get to work on Friday of payday, like, an extra $50 a week is pretty good in my book. When I'm having to go in and put 42 cents worth of gas and pennies into my gas tank on payday because I'm waiting to get my check or waiting for that money to be direct deposited into my account, $50 would go a long way towards buying me lunch and getting me to work and not stressing about, am I going to run out of gas on my way to work? So that's what I started my business doing. I started my business making $50 a week, and this year, my partner's kind of the one who does the accounting. This year, thus far, we're in, what is it? It's October. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So we're about 10 months into the, is that right? About 10 months into the year? Yeah, I guess we got November. Okay. So actually, we'll say 9 months into the year, right? So we still got about 3 months to go. So 3 quarters into the year, my business to date has done over $2 million in sales. Now, I know people are always like, oh, why are you making videos if you're making I'm not making $2 million, guys. $2 million in sales is different than $2 million in net revenue, right? I'm not bringing home $2 million a year. Obviously, a huge percentage of that is the cost of our inventory. Just for example, if I buy something off out of AliExpress for $90 and I turn around and sell it for $100, I haven't made $100, I've made $10. So on that $2 million, obviously a very large percent of that is going to be inventory, so only a chunk of that is profits. And then from those profits, we have office rent, internet at our office, PayPal fees, eBay fees. Last month we paid over $10,000 in merchant processing fees. So there's a lot of costs. I'm not saying I'm making anywhere near $2 million, but the business to date has done over $2 million in sales. Me and my partner are both going to take home 6 figures. We're both going to take home over $100,000. And this is all off something that a couple years ago started off of $50 a week, right? It probably wasn't even $50 a week. It was probably like $50 every 2 weeks, and it was split between the two of us. But my point is, you got to crawl before you walk, guys. Anybody who says, oh, what's the point? Only $100? Why am I going to do this work for $100? Because the goal is that you're going to start off making $100. Maybe a month down the road, you're going to be making $200, and then you're going to be making $300, and then you're going to be making $400. So to the person who said, what's the point of making $186, right? 3-4 months ago, my Amazon earnings were $1.96. I sold one t-shirt and made $1.96. The month after that, I made $40. The month after that, I made $56. The month after that, I made $80-something. The month after that, I made I don't know, $146. And then I was up to $180. So obviously, there's progression. You're trying to grow these things. But yeah, I mean, anybody who says, what's the point? Well, if there's no point to working for a little bit of money, no matter what it is you want to start, any business you want to start, any service business, any hustle, it's going to start small and it's going to grow. And if you're the type of person who's going to say, well, that's not worth my time, you're never going to get anything off the ground that's even going to have the ability to grow into something else. So it's kind of frustrating hearing people say, like, if that's your attitude, don't watch entrepreneurship videos, don't try anything, because you're never going to be satisfied with putting in the work for a small return at the beginning. And the whole passive income thing, I know everybody's out for passive income. Passive income is something that's going to start very small and build and build and build and build. And it may be a couple years, but a couple years down the road, you are going to have a passive self-sustaining income. So I guess that's kind of my rant. Oh, and one other thing I just wanted to touch on. So as far as the Amazon merch, like, is it worth the effort I'm putting in? Like, earlier in my merch career, I was really trying to like tier up and get a lot of shirts up. So I was probably putting in a lot more time than I was earning. I probably wasn't making enough money to make it worth my time. But now, I mean, you know, I've tiered up to 500 shirts. I only have about 188 live now. But I would say in the past 30 days, I've probably spent well under 3 hours uploading shirts and doing stuff involving merch, because it's pretty passive, right? You create the design, you upload it to Amazon, and you know, at that point, it's kind of out of your hands. It's when a shirt sells, Amazon prints it, ships it, and you just sit back and collect your check every month or whatever it is, every month, 6 weeks, whatever it is. But in the past 30 days, I've probably spent less than 3 hours on Amazon merch. The time that I spend working on Amazon merch is in the evenings. Me and my girlfriend might be watching The Office, watching Cheers, something like that. And as we're watching TV together, you know, making t-shirts is kind of mindless. You know, you got some ideas and I'll do some of this design work. So literally, not only have I spent under 3 hours, but that 3 hours has been time that I would have been kind of sitting around on the couch doing nothing. And instead, I'm sitting there with my girlfriend watching TV. Oh, well, maybe we'll put this text here. So it's a pretty casual 3 hours that I was working. So what, 186 divided by 3 is 40, 80, 120, 50, 150, 60... 12, 18. Okay, so it's about $60 an hour for sitting on the couch watching Cheers, messing around with some design. So in my book, that's worth it for me. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's my little rant. I know there's a lot of people, like I said, I'm saying, oh, what's the point? What's the point? It's not worth my time. And if that's your attitude, you're not going to get anywhere. So I know that's not all of you guys. I know that's a very small percentage of the people. I know there's a lot of people out there who work hard and hustle and realize that things take time to grow. But I was just responding to YouTube comments, and it was like, I got a couple comments like that back to back, and it was just kind of annoying me. So I just wanted to get that video out there. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Thumbs up if you enjoy the video. Share it if you know somebody that needs to hear this message. And until next time, guys, Rules for Rebels signing out.